Your love, I'm gonna make you mine. There's something special about your love. I think it's one of a kind.
How do you define your partner, right? And then how do you think your spouse defines you?
I think that's the problem with what led up to that is that my perception is there's a lot of idolatry in that relationship. There's a lot of idolizing and like trying to make her fit into the perfect mold of this and him play the perfect.
But she's also said that in interviews
and do this stuff and
yeah. So so she said that in interviews that like being like Will Smith's wife, right? And celebrity or no celebrity, let's talk about it, right? As women. And I think we kind of talked about this in the last On Our BS, is women have a tendency to be like, oh, I wear the me hat, whatever career. If you're a teacher, you're a nurse. I am the wife hat. I am the mother hat. I am the elder at church hat. Like there's so many elements of your like life that you kind of put into these categories, right? Yeah. And you were defined by that, right? That kind of plays into me personally. I am a nurse. Okay, you could take away my job, you could take away everything, my license. You can't take away that unless I'm killing people or whatever. But you know how things going nowadays, right? But I am that, and I'm still nursing my family. I'm still taking care of that. But so much of myself was being defined by, I won't say the hospital, but the last hospital I worked at. I felt like I worked at another hospital before that, and when I got to that last hospital, I defined myself by that, right? It became me. Like I am a blank nurse. I work at this hospital, and don't tell me nothing because I work
like what
there.
I'm gonna say, but like I feel like that also was inherited because you got that from your dad. Your dad worked there. He was a lifer there as like when I say lifer, like he ended up doing
numerous
a majority
family
of his
members.
years.
Remember, numerous family members work there, and family friends work there.
There's a pressure and to make a like.
But that defined me, right? And so when you think about happiness, and this is something that I'm tagging from what Jada said is her happiness. She felt like she had to find herself.
Okay.
And it's like, why is that? Like, what happens in relationships where you feel that you. Like, remember we were talking about last time?
Okay.
Losing yourself, right? So I define myself as a mother, right? If you and your kid is now 30 years old, right? You still a mother? Yes, you still a mother. But does that, like, you're not taking care of them every day, unless, something is...
See, what's difficult about this conversation is it's hard to stay neutral because there's definitely points where I feel like, I could definitely blame Will Smith for this. I can say, if I'm going to just put my criticism out there, like, this is, the culmination of Will Smith trying to control the narrative of, like, this, like, perfect, like, always, like, the perfect, like, black man, like, I don't curse in my music, I don't do this.
A lot of men or couples do that, though.
The power couple,
they define that narrative.
Like, were you running for president? Like, you've almost, like, ran a campaign with your career, right? And then Jada felt like that's not her, and then she had to find herself. But also, I would wag my finger at Jada in the sense that, like, I feel like, potentially, right, a thing with Jada is, Jada... might love Will Smith for the wrong reasons. Like, whenever I've seen interviews of like how they got together.
What did she say?
Like how he made her feel when she was feeling low, like she had a high self-worth and made her feel good about that.
And it's important, I also want to stick to that point, is that there are a lot of women who don't see their potential, and they meet someone that sees that potential, and they're like, oh, that's all me. So he kind of helped to mold her to what she is. But again, all right, so when she lost herself, my problem with what you're saying with what she is, like, when she lost herself because she didn't get married to him as a nobody. Yes,
right?
Yes.
She got married to him as Jada Pinkett.
No,
Jada Pinkett Smith was like, oh, you got married to Will Smith. Mm. She was never really like, obviously Will Smith is a mega superstar, right? But you can't act like this is not his kids that's like are like drowning in his shadow, right? So when she stopped acting in movies, maybe she's getting shipped bull BS roles and blah blah blah, but she decided that she was going to fall back, right? She decided, you know, she wanted to play, because you could go play the roles.
Do we know that? We don't know that.
From perception, obviously. Yeah, that's what I'm
saying.
That's what
I'm saying. Like, it could have been something, you know, because I've also met,
like, what are we implying then? That, like, Will's like, yo, no, you can't play that role, and
look
blah,
how,
blah, blah.
Comment below. How many times have you heard, women or men have heard, where a man will be like, yo, I want to take care of you. You stay at home. Like, for me, I'm like, I want to stay at home. But there are men that are like, will meet a woman and they're like, oh, I want you to stay
I can only go off of what I've heard, and I've never heard her say, like, Will Smith has told her, stop pursuing your happiness with, like, you were an actor before that. I mean, you were an actress before that. You were doing stuff before Will Smith.
Yeah.
And, like, you don't have to be on the level of superstar Will Smith is, but you could go do whatever you want now. You clearly not worried about finances anymore. You could go the acting route on Broadway. You could go do indie movies. You could do whatever you want to do. So the thing is, like their kids, you could pursue whatever you want, and you probably even gonna get slid like a little further up. You know, like it's like why people mad at T.I. right now.
Again, peace, love, and happiness.
Love, I think it's one of a kind. There's something special about your love. I want it all the time. You will always be my inspiration.